Hey everyone, how we doing today? First Final Cut TV and Coffee for 2024. It's the very, very first one. I do have a new Christmas mug, Snoopy. I'll gotta check this out. Hold on one second. There we go. I just wanted to check on the audio as I normally do. Normally it takes a couple of seconds to get online, and then if I don't turn it off in Safari, it comes back through my microphone, so we get an echo. So we're doing good. So as usual, we are going to do some maintenance, posting on the different social media networks, and I will be back in 3 minutes. 3 minutes. So you get a 3-minute break to go get coffee. I'll be right back. And here we are. We're back live. Fantastic. The first show, first Final Cut TV and Coffee for 2024. And we are at number 47. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. Thank you very much. It is appreciated. So we have comment. Morning. Here it is 1600. 1600. I'm not sure what that is. That symbol U. Is that 4 o'clock? Happy New Year. We have that one. And we have a hello from Belgium. There you go. Starting our worldwide chat about Final Cut Pro. This is the first one for 2024. Got to check on my notes here. I'm not sure if they synced up yet or what the deal is. Let me just see. So he says, yes, it's hours. Yes, 4 o'clock. Yes, 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. That's what I figured that's what it was, but I wasn't, I'm not used to that little U. That to me is an electronic term. When I used to be a ham radio operator, that was like micro or something. So I wasn't quite sure. 4 o'clock. So you're about 6, let me see, 6 hours difference. You're ahead 6 hours compared to the good old East Coast of the USA. Now, I'm going to keep on checking the Final Cut Pro Radio backyard because we're supposed to get snow today. Is it snowing yet? I don't think it is. I don't think so. But we're going to keep checking that because we're supposed to get our first snow of 2024. Supposed to get some inches, 3 to 5 inches. In Holland, it is UUR, USA hour. Gotcha. UUR. That's interesting. I never knew that. UUR. This is one of my Christmas presents. It's a gigantic Snoopy mug, coffee mug. It is really, really big. It's bigger than my normal mug. So when I make coffee for this, I have to make sure I make it extra strong. And it's always strong, but that's extra strong. Yes, 4 o'clock. Very good. So thank you very much for the thumbs up already. We already got some thumbs up. That's very, very cool. Let me see if my notes have synced up yet. Do there and do there. Let's see if they've synced up. I have some notes. Yeah, there they are. There we go. That's that. Oh, yeah. One of the things I wanted to bring up. Let's go over this first. Let me go over this first. So I posted this week. Let me make sure we're on. Let me just do this real quick. And go over to there and grab this. Copy. And then post this over there. And then do this. And go back one more time. Copy that. And paste it there. And we will do that. Make sure we're live on Twitter, X, Facebook, and YouTube. All 3 platforms. I just wanted to make sure that we're live everywhere that we're supposed to be. So we get the most viewers on Facebook Live, sometimes on YouTube Live. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. It is appreciated. So what are you looking forward to in 2024 with Final Cut? Oh, so there we go. Sorry. The data rate is lower than it normally. There we go. Now we're back up. That's weird. When I muted my audio, the data rate went way, way down. And then when I put the audio back on, the data rate went way up. I'm monitoring my bandwidth. We can do that in Ecamm Live. Good morning. I finally caught your Saturday morning live. However, I just finished my coffee. This is our 47th Final Cut and TV, Final Cut TV and Coffee Saturday morning show. I have other shows that I do, but this is the Saturday morning show where the community, Final Cut Pro community, gets to come in and talk just whatever they want to talk about, Final Cut Pro wise. As we discuss, we've been discussing this for a long time. The Final Cut Pro team does watch these live streams. So when you make a comment, there's a chance that they'll see it on the YouTube stream, which is very, very cool. Let me just go over here. I'm going to turn some of these off. Let me turn over here. So I've added a new link to this. So here's what, captioning. I agree. Captioning / text-based editing in Final Cut Pro. Absolutely. I'm surprised it's not there yet because Apple's all about accessibility and stuff. So I'm kind of surprised it's not there. But anyway, more AI in Final Cut Pro. Yes. Effective AI, something that's, captioning would be a good good way to use AI. I hope when the audio mixer comes, we get Dolby Atmos and mixing control surface support, preview automation. That'd be very cool. And better keyframe editor. Absolutely. Absolutely. Better keyframe editor. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. Is absolutely something we want. Let's go over here. Back MacBook. Here we go. So I have this website this is the longest running Final Cut Pro 10 website in the world. I've been running longer than any other Final Cut Pro website, but I've added this to the main page. Download the Final Cut Pro 10.7 user guide PDF right on the main page. So you don't have to worry about having Final Cut Pro open because it's under the help menu as well. But if you say, where is that user guide? I want to download it to my iPad. I'm on the airplane. I want to download it to my iPhone and read some of it. And I don't want to launch Final Cut Pro just to look at a manual. FCPX.TV, very, very easy to watch. Right there. Right over there, FCPX.TV. It's very easy to memorize. And it's right on the main page. And you click on that. And you go right to the PDF, Final Cut Pro User Guide for Mac. And then you can download it if you want to download it. I just right-click and I do Open with Preview. And then it opens a copy right in Preview. So now I can just take this and download it anywhere I want on my desktop. Just take that icon and drag it wherever I want to download it. I'll download it to the desktop. And now I have a copy of the PDF on my desktop or online here if you're online. Let's go back to there and go back to there. Better keyframe editor. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It definitely needs a better keyframe editor. Just borrow the one from Motion. Final Cut Pro team, take the Motion team out to lunch. And when somebody send one of your team members into their workroom and grab that keyframe editor, take it over to Final Cut. I'd like to see improvements to the scene removal tool. You mean the background removal? I think that's what you're talking about, right? Yeah, they maybe some AI can help that. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. It is appreciated. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. And we have the other things I want to talk about. Let me go over here. We're going to have some guests on Final Cut TV. In the coming weeks, one of the guests we're going to have is Alex Raculia from Ultimedia. And we're going to talk specifically about Transcriber, his new plugin. This is the one I'm most interested in. Let me go back there. Transcriber is what I'm really interested in. So he has all these bundles and things, but we'll be talking to Alex. We've talked to Alex multiple times over the years, and we'll be talking to him again. He'll be on Final Cut TV Live, and we'll talk about Transcriber. Don Stafford says, good morning, running late this morning. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks for the thumbs up. So that's one of the people that we are going to have live. The next, that will be a must-see with Alex, absolutely. Alex has been on the show 2 times or 3 times over the years. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. Alex has been on the show 2 times or 3 times for the last couple of years, so he'll just be returning. He'll be a returning guest. Another one that we're having this Tuesday let me pull this up. This Tuesday, Happy New Year. That's okay. That was an old one. Let me pull this up. Happy New Year anyway. Everybody, Happy New Year. Let me pull this up. This is this Tuesday. The return of LumaFusion. Tuesday at 2 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we have Terry. Let me pull that back up again, Cam Link. Let me pull that up here, out of the way a little bit, make it a little smaller. We have Terry, Morgan, and Chris Damaris, the team from Luma-Touch, but we're going to talk specifically about LumaFusion in 2024. That's who's going to be on Tuesday at 2 o'clock Eastern. So check your time zone. They'll be back to talk about that. Feature, FCP feature, plugin manager built in for those of us with thousands of third-party plugins. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know the way you have the browser, and you can make folders, and you can drag clips into the folders, and you can make smart collections, and you can make all kinds of things in the browser. You'll just drag and drop, drag and drop, drag and drop. You can rename the folders anything you want. I want the same thing for the titles, generators, effects, transitions. I want to drag and drop inside of Final Cut Pro. Okay? Make selections. I can select 2 or 3 or 4 effects, drag them into my favorites folder. Maybe I have a folder for my documentary that I'm working on. Maybe I have a folder for Final Cut TV Live. I just call them what I want, but I can drag and drop inside of Final Cut Pro, and it drags those plugins there. One of the other things is a master plugin to turn off plugins that I don't use, or turn on ones that I do use. So instead of 1,500 plugins, I'm only dealing with a hundred, let's say, 100 plugins. I don't have to worry about all the other ones showing up, constantly searching for and stuff. Yes, I know you can make favorite, you can save an effect preset, but that's one at a time. I want to be able to drag and select multiple plugins, and I want to do a drag and drop in the Finder. I don't want to do one at a time. That's just what I want, absolutely. And I'm surprised they don't have a store in the effects browser, transitions browser. Apple can make a little bit or make, whatever they want to do and have a plug-in store. They have all the other stores. I mean, it's got to be, beneficial for everybody to have a Apple-sponsored plug-in store. That'd be very cool. Okay, we're going on year 13. Final Cut Pro 10 is going to be 13 on June the 20th, 2024. 13 years old. Finally, we got a scrolling timeline after 12 and a half years. That's okay. That's okay. The Final Cut Pro team said that they had to wait till it was ready hardware-wise and stuff. That's why it's taken so long. That's acceptable. I can accept that. Let me see what else I have on my notes there. Where are my notes? Oh, there. Final Cut Pro. Yeah, there we go. Something else was weird this time. So let me go back to the graphics. Like I said, Terry and Chris are going to be on Final Cut TV talking about LumaFusion in 2024, Tuesday afternoon at 2 o'clock Eastern. So let's do this. Take that off. Now, this is something weird that's come up. So this is, let me pull that below the cameras. This is the map for NAB, right? Well, it is. This is the map for NAB. Something's missing in 2024. Who can tell me what's missing from this map? If you've been going to 2024, something has been added since last year for NAB, and something is missing from last year for NAB. Who can tell me? Anybody been to NAB watching the live stream? There's about a 7-second delay, 8-second delay, so I have to wait for 7 or 8 seconds to see if anybody can tell me. This is the map for 2024. The location map for 2024. All right, I'll tell you. The North Hall is missing, which is a giant hall. There's no North Hall in 2024. However, instead of the North Hall, they've added the South Hall Lower and the South Hall Upper to take place of what used to be in the North Hall. But there's no North Hall. There's a physical North Hall in that location, but they're not showing it on the map. So they've taken the North Hall off and added South Hall Lower and South Hall Upper. Blackmagic has the main entrance in the South Hall. That's where they're going to be. Now, one of the things that I wanted to do last year, and it didn't quite work out, but this year I'm going to be more specific. I have a Facebook group, FCP at NAB. So when NAB gets closer, we'll see if we can schedule some Final Cut Pro meetups. I might even schedule an impromptu dinner over there at NAB. We'll have to see, but join the Facebook group, FCP NAB. That's where Final Cut Pro related things are going to be tracked on that specific Facebook group. So what else do we have? We have Final Cut Pro and coffee, 47 Final Cut Pros and coffee. What else do I have? Let me see what else I have. I'm going to make sure I get to all the notes that I have. TV shows, LumaFusion, we already talked about that. So I'm going back to college. I'm taking a class this spring. I just already signed up for it. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. We'll have to see how it works. I want to make sure that I like it. I'm going to stick with it. And once I do, I'll let you know what field that I'm starting. So I'm starting a college. It's just part-time. It's one class. Starts in February and runs through March. And if I like it, I'll tell you what it is. If I don't like it, I'm not going to tell you what it is. But I think I will. I absolutely think I will. Let's see what else we have here. What movies do we have? Oh, there's our friend Philip Hodgetts. This is at the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. Just a quick little interview with him. We had an update to Final Cut Pro 10.7.
Yes.
And as usual, no matter what you do, everybody's not going to be happy. I'm happy. I'm very happy with the update.
Well, I'm ecstatic with the update because it did not include text-based editing.
Do you have a favorite feature from 10.7 when they introduced it?
I love the scrolling timeline. I mean, the other things are useful, and any individual editor will use them to one degree or the other. But to me, the scrolling timeline is the one that I will use every day.
100% agree with you. Our friend Philip from the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. I have 1.5 terabytes of data, of video that I recorded at the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. I dare to say that's more than anybody else. When I started doing filming and live streaming in 2016 at the Creative Summit, nobody else was doing it, at least not the way they are nowadays. Now everybody's got an iPhone and filming and doing this, but I still have, I think I have more, 1.5 terabytes. I put out short little clips. I have a couple of short little clips. The Creative Summit was fantastic this year. Let me see what else I have here. Oh, here we have one from our friend. Here's another one. It's very loud in here. I'm not sure if anybody can even hear me. So what this is I was streaming live during Expo night. And it was a little bit, I had the MacBook Pro and I had my iPhone as camera. So I could walk around with the iPhone, and right now I'm on the MacBook Pro. I'm going to walk around and do some interviews the best we can with my iPhone 15 Pro Max. We're live. What'd you think about the Creative Summit?
I think it's been a really great Creative Summit. A lot of energy. More energy than I felt for a while, and I feel like this is like the biggest one in terms of sheer numbers of people.
So that's Mr. Steve Morton. I interviewed everybody there, all kinds of people there. So I have a lot of clips coming up. So what else do you want in Final Cut? It's, 2024 is the year of 10.7. I put that on the graphic because this is the year of Final Cut Pro 10.7. For the next year, maybe 2 years, we're going to be working with Final Cut Pro 10.7. So Vision Pro will be coming out, right? Vision Pro, now they're saying at the end of January, what is this? January the 6th. Now they're saying at the end of January, we're going to have Vision Pro. Are you excited about editing with Final Cut Pro on Vision Pro if you're going to buy those? One of the things about the Vision Pro is, from what I've read, you cannot order a Vision Pro and have it come to your house. You have to go to an Apple store and they set it up for you. Adjust things. Plus, if you have prescription glasses like me, you can't use it. You have to get a special lens that has your prescription in order to use the Vision Pro. So it's a complex setup. It's not like you go and buy an iPhone and they set it up for you in the store. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. So are you excited? If you're going to get a Vision Pro, I certainly would like to try one. I'm sure it's phenomenal, but I'm not going to get the first version. I'll wait till the second or third iteration of it, if I even get one. I'm not sure. What I'm interested in, I think I was going to get the MacBook Pro but I'm going to wait on that. There's no reason for me to rush. Plus, the one I want is like $6,000, $5,500. I'm not spending that kind of money right now. So I'm looking at the iPad Pro, but I know there's one coming out in 2024, so I'll wait for that one. And I'm going to get one that has the same functionality with USB-C drives as the new iPhone does, because I really, really like that. I have a bunch of USB-C drives. This is my favorite by far. This one is the Crucial. This thing is tiny. Now let me pull up the Samsung for comparison. This is the Samsung. This is the Crucial. Look at the difference in size. This is 4 terabytes. This is 2 terabytes. 4 terabytes, 2 terabytes. And this also works on the iPhone. Any SSD drive I get going forward has to work on my iPhone. And subsequently, if I get a new iPad, I'll probably get the iPad Pro this time with USB connectivity. And I don't have to get a 2 terabyte storage on the iPad. I can get 500 or 1 terabyte and just use my 4 terabyte SSD for editing video. I use LumaFusion. Text-based editing and closed captioning built into Final Cut Pro both are must. Working on a documentary now, text-based editing will save me countless hours. So people, when they talk about text-based editing, and I'm a big proponent of text-based editing as well, and I expect Final Cut Pro team is working on that, and we'll have it in 10.7 whenever they do the proper update. We're not talking about using text-based editing for music videos. We're not talking about using text-based editing for a live concert, because that's not what it's for. It's for documentary-style, dialogue-driven stuff, and podcasts, where there's a lot of dialogue. That's where it comes in, especially, I don't care about a 3-minute piece, but if it's an hour long, number one, we have the scrolling timeline, which is fantastic. But if you can do text-based editing, it says, where do they talk about this? And you select the text and it makes a clip and you drop it in the timeline. It's phenomenal. I use it in Descript. Lumberjack Systems has a plug-in system. That's what Philip was talking about. He was glad they didn't have text-based editing this time in 10.7 because his product is out there doing that. So text-based editing, I think, is probably the main thing. People want collaboration, and here's the things. They want collaboration, they want text-based editing / auto captions, and they want a roles-based mixer. Well, the roles-based mixer is there. Okay, it's in there, it just hasn't been turned on yet. I've got a feeling filmmakers will use Vision Pro as an EVF, electronic video what's that? What's EVF? Red Digital plays well with Apple, for example. There you go. Electronic viewfinder. That's what it is, as an electronic viewfinder. I knew what that meant. I just forgot for a second. But I'm not sure. I mean, here's the thing. I have a budget for my equipment. Last year, I spent $2,200 on the Lumix S5 Mark IIX. And I got 3 prime lenses with that. They're all 1.6, 1.8. I forget what they are. They're very fast primes. I have a 24, 50, and 85. On top of that, I got a 20 to 60 zoom lens. So I have 4 lenses plus the Lumix S5 Mark IIX, which I brought to the Creative Summit. And that's my budget for last year for the most part. I didn't get a new MacBook Pro. I didn't buy any new Mac. Didn't buy any iPad. I did get the phone. I get the phone every year. But I was going to get the MacBook Pro, but this one's working so well. This is an M1 Max, 64 gigabytes of RAM from 2021 with 4 terabyte SSD. It's working so well there's no reason for me to upgrade my Mac right now. So I'm thinking now I'm going to get a new iPad Pro, the one that has the same USB chipset that my iPhone 15 has. So it works really well with USB drives and other peripherals. And I'm thinking I'm going to get that. I mean, I want the bigger size and stuff, and I'll bring it to NAB if it's out by then, and I'll bring it to the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. Let's check on the backyard, see if it's snowing yet. Yes, it started to snow. It's just barely there. You can see some snow on the ground. Yes, it is snowing. Can you see that? Can everybody see that? Finally, well, not finally, snow means work for me. I have a long driveway I have to shovel to get out to the main road. Not shovel, I have a snow blower. As a matter of fact, I just went up last week. Let me say, I just went up yesterday. I went up yesterday and I started it up and I changed the carburetor on the darn thing. Where's that other cable? Is that plugged in? Oh yeah, it is plugged in. And I started the carburetor on the darn thing. Let me pull that video up for you. I'll show you. So I changed the carburetor. I did some other work. Please, as Don Stafford says, please keep the snow up north. I enjoyed snow a lot more when I was younger, let me tell you. Yes, I have a snow blower. Yes, but it's still work. If it snowed a lot, like a foot, I'd be 8 hours working with the snowblower because I have a long driveway. The main area, a couple hours. It's still work. It is still work, and it's cold outside. So I used to enjoy it more when I didn't have to worry about getting rid of the snow. Let me do something here. Let me open that up. Oh, gotta do this. There. Come on, there we go. 15 Pro Max. It's not locked. Trust. As smart as Apple is, why do I have to keep on telling Apple, my iPhone, to trust a computer? Can't it remember? 20 times I have to tell it to trust my computer. Can't it remember inside the phone, trust this computer, and identify it some way? Every time I plug it in, do you trust this computer? Yes, I trust this computer. So let me pull this up real quick. We have some lazy cats there. Is that one? Let me pull these up and I'll... let me pull one of these up. I figured the best way to prevent it from snowing is to get my snowblower. Is that the right one? Tuned up. Yeah, there you go. I figured that's the best way to Now, what I did was I changed the carburetor yesterday. I got a new carburetor, from Amazon. But you have to be careful. So what I had to do, take the old carburetor off and match up the pictures because the numbers didn't quite match up, and I got a new carburetor. This snowblower is probably 15 years old. So, and it's not a real popular model, I don't think. It's 11 horsepower. It's got six or seven speeds forward, 2 speeds in the back going reverse. It has a headlight on it. I had a project, says I heard of a January 7th, 27th revision pro release. That's what I've heard too. So we're expecting it out. Is anybody watching? Anybody going to use Vision Pro for Final Cut Pro? Is anybody going to spend that $3,500 plus additional money for lenses if you need lenses like I do? One of the issues I have with my prescription glasses, I have progressive lenses that are trifocal. There's 3 different prescriptions in here. And what I've discovered is the middle one is supposed to be for computer, and things are a little bit blurry. So I measure the distance from my eyes to my screen, and it's 36 inches. So I just went to my eye doctor and told her, I said, everything's a little bit blurry. Can we adjust that? So what I've got coming, I have 2 pair of these, one brand new. These are distance, computer, and then reading glasses. I have a pair of computer glasses that are just for the computer. She said because the computer in these is a very small area, that's why it's blurry. So I got computer glasses coming that have a much bigger area for the computer, the screen. When I'm editing in Final Cut Pro, I have a 34-inch monitor. Right? 34-inch monitor. It's too big. It's actually physically too big. So here, let me show you this. This is my screen. This is my 34-inch LG monitor. You can see all the stuff that I have on it. I have a preview monitor. I have a program monitor. I have audio right down here below me. I can keep watching the monitor. I have comments over here. All these comments that are coming in that I add to the screen over there. I have, like I said, a preview program monitor. I have statistics over here. Down there, my statistics, the bandwidth statistics. Right below me is different scenes that I have. It's like a layer of Photoshop. I have music, etc. For example, I can put the applause on. Oh, I have to turn down. Let me turn it up first. I can put applause on. Whatever. But my point is, this big screen that I have, when I put a big timeline in there, and I have the inspector all the way over to the right, I can't read it. It's blurry. When I look at it, it's blurry from this center position. So I wanted glass. What I do is I pull the Final Cut Pro interface in so it's all in the center, and the inspector is closer to my center vision. It's really, I was expecting a big monitor like this that it would be fantastic. Well, we'll see if my new glasses are what they're supposed to be. She told me if they're not what I expect, bring them back in within 30 days and they'll adjust the prescription for no additional cost. Vision Pro is cheaper than the Pro XDR monitor, so it's on my radar for sure. Pro display XDR, but there's going to be a new one, right? There's going to be a new Pro display coming out in 2024. That's what I keep reading. The other thing is, there's going to be an iMac Pro coming out. I know there's going to be one. They're not going to be stuck at 24 inches for the rest of the life of the iMac. It's too popular. The iMac is too popular. The 24-inch has been fantastic. I think they updated it to the M3 chip, right? I think they did just the last fall. But I'm expecting another 27 to 32-inch iMac Pro, and that'll be a monster. an M3 or an M3 Pro or an M3 Max, whatever the heck they're going to do, I would be tempted to get that myself and just keep my older MacBook Pro. I really like the setup, though. I have one screen here, the big LG. I have another screen over there, which is a smaller screen. And then all the way at the bottom of my LG, I have my MacBook Pro screen. So I have 3 separate screens that I work with, like when I'm doing these live streams, for example. So it's cheaper, but is it really going to... We have to see how it works. I mean, I'll be very curious to try one. But like I said, I don't think I can try one because I need my prescriptions. They had to put a lens inside for your prescription. It's a little bit complicated. So we'll have to see. Wonder if other NLEs will be able to edit Vision Pro video. I think so. I would think so. It depends on how popular it gets. Remember, there's been 2 other times. They kept talking about 360 video, 360 video, 360 video. It's not a big thing. It's not a big thing. And they were talking about another 3D video or whatever, and neither one of them really became big. So I'm not sure if Vision Pro at this stage is going to be that big. It's going to be a very niche part of the market. So, but my iPhone 15 Pro Max, I can shoot Vision Pro stuff with one of the updates they had because it uses 2 of the lenses. I think the 1X lens and the ultra wide, the 0.5 lens. I think that's what it does. Snow? What is that? I don't even know what that is. Let's check the backyard. Yeah, you can see. Can you see the snowflakes coming down a little bit? I do like coffee. I absolutely do like coffee. Apple first released a 24-inch iMac when they premiered the Intel processor in 2007. It's about time for larger screens. Yes, they're not, they said at that point there was things that they said they're not going to do the iMac Pro anymore. They're not going to do the Intel version of the iMac Pro. They're absolutely going to do the 27 to 32 inch M3, M3 Pro, M3 Max, M3 Ultra iMac Pro, and it's going to be a killer. It's going to be an absolute killer machine, Mac, for editors. It'll be phenomenal. I'll be tempted to get that myself. Although, like I said, I don't need anything. My MacBook Pro, this is one of the best Macs I've ever owned, and I absolutely love it. I need a MacBook for portability when I go to NAB, when I go to the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. So one thing I don't know about NAB this year, besides the fact that there's no North Hall, are there going to be any Final Cut Pro events? Don't know. Steve Martin used to have the FCPX Guru gathering that I've been to. He had it at the Hard Rock Cafe, which was phenomenal. I know it was a pain, a lot of work, and expensive, but it was a phenomenal dinner where all the different Final Cut Pro people get together, personalities, and had, just got together after one of the other events. And he's had it a couple other places. He's not doing that anymore. They've also had presentations from the Final Cut Pro team in 2017 and 2018. 2019, somebody from the Final Cut Pro team was on stage at the Faster Together stage. LumaForge had that at NAB. 2020, of course, was virtual. 2021 was virtual. 2022, no Final Cut Pro events. 2023, last year, no Final Cut Pro events. So I don't know. 2024, maybe there's a return. Maybe the Final Cut Pro team will do a return to NAB and do another presentation. It's a little early yet. We don't know. So we'll have to wait and see. But in any event, FCP at NAB, if you go to the Facebook, let me pull that up real quick. And you'll be able to keep track if there is here we pull this up, anything going on with Final Cut Pro at NAB, this is the group you want to join, FCP at NAB. So anything Final Cut Pro related, this is a group for people that are interested of anything Final Cut Pro related at NAB. It's just a small group. I don't want thousands of people in there. Small group if you're interested in Final Cut Pro at NAB. We will be discussing, we'll be posting schedules there and stuff. This year I have a better idea of what to do with the group. But I'm thinking I might even try to put together a Final Cut Pro editor little get together. There is going to be a super meet at NAB. That's already been announced. So that would be very cool. There's the snow. It's just starting to stick on the grass. Can you see it sticking a little bit? Yeah, there's the snow. Finally. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and finally it's here. Hope it's not too much, but whatever. So Final Cut Pro 10.7 at NAB. I mean, at NAB is one thing. Don't know. It's too early to know about any Final Cut Pro events. Although they could, if the team is going to be there with an event, they have been in the past in the convention center, 2017 and 2018. They did presentations, free events in the convention center. Final Cut Pro team was there. Luke was there both times, and they did different user accounts, and they talked about the latest thing. They announced in 2017, they announced 2 million users had been achieved seats. 2018, they announced 2.5 million. They made those exclusive announcements at NAB. Then they didn't come back. They came back in 2019. They were on stage. Nothing 2020, 2021. 2022 was in person, and 2023 was in person. There was no sign of Final Cut Pro anywhere as far as official presentations. Now, there's different people from the team, Final Cut Pro team, that are there because they're meeting with developers and things. They're always there every time. I'm talking about an actual presentation that's open to the public. I would like to see that again. That would be very, very exciting. That's one of the reasons that I, go to NAB, is to look for anything Final Cut Pro related. If there was never anything Final Cut Pro related to NAB, I'm not even sure if I'd even go, because I'm always searching for it. And like I said, there wasn't anything last year, and wasn't anything in 2022. Not official. Not official. I did see the Final Cut Pro team there, and I did talk to some of them, but nothing official open for the public. So that's what we're hoping for. Don't know. I mean, the Vision Pro is difficult at NAB. That'll be a new product, but you got to sit down, and you got to get fitted, and you got to get things adjusted. It isn't like somebody can walk up to a desk and to a bar and try Vision Pro and try it out. There's a lot of adjustments. They might have it there, but I can't use it because I got glasses. And from what I understand, you need a special lens with your prescription on the inside, and that's more money on top of the $3,500. But I'm sure once they get it worked out, it's going to be phenomenal. I mean, it looks pretty effective. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. It is appreciated. So 2024 is the year of Final Cut Pro 10.7. Maybe 2025 as well. Typically, the full number updates are 2 years on average. But one of them was 1 year and one of them was 3 years. So the average is 2-year cycle. So we've just started the 2-year cycle of Final Cut Pro 10.7. During that 2-year cycle, there's going to be more features added. Of course, bug fixes, which they've really been on top of recently. For the last 6 months, they've just updated bug fixes almost within weeks. 2 weeks, 2 weeks and 2 days, and 3 weeks for the last 3 bug fixes. Features, we got 5 features in 10.7. Let's see what else is added during 2024. Now, here's something else. A lot of times they update Final Cut Pro with a new feature or 2 or 3 around NAB. They did dupe detection around NAB 2021 or 2022. I'm sorry, 2022. I don't know if they did anything last year. They did something maybe, but a lot of times there's an update, a feature update around NAB. So that's the middle of April. I'm planning on going to that. And so there could be a feature update sometime March, April timeframe. Remember, the dupe detection was leaked online by some YouTube influencers. They said, oh, look what I have here. I have these hashed lines, which means duplicated media in my timeline, before it was officially released. Apple allowed that, and then it came out right before NAB that year. But 2022, was it 2022 or 2021? I can't remember. So between now, January, and April, we could see some new features added to Final Cut Pro 10.7. Now, what those features are, don't know. Text-based editing? Yes. We'd like to see that, Final Cut Pro team. We'd like to see text-based editing. We'd like to see auto captions. Those are 2 things we'd like to see. We also like to see a roles-based mixer and collaboration. I'm not sure. That seems to be more complex. Have to wait and see what's going on with that. By the way, I am streaming with Sonoma. When I stream now, I log into Sonoma. One of the things about getting a 4 terabyte SSD on my MacBook Pro, I've made the main volume is Ventura, but I've made a separate volume that has Sonoma. So I can dual boot natively into either one of those. Either one of those. So I have to keep my Ventura volume because it connects to my old legacy RAIDs. I don't think it's going to connect to Ventura. I mean, it's not connected now. I tried it, it doesn't connect. I don't know if I need an updated driver. I don't think they're going to make drivers for these old. I have an old Promise and an old G-Tech RAID 5, 2 of them. And I don't think they're going to update the drivers for Sonoma. But they work in Ventura. So I always have to keep, I'm not going to sell this MacBook Pro. I'm going to keep this. M1 Max 2021, M1 Max 4 terabyte SSD, 64 terabytes of RAM, gigabytes of RAM, and the maximum CPU, the maximum whatever the graphics package is. I got the top of the line, so I'll always keep this to connect to those RAIDs. What are you looking forward to as far as purchases for 2024? New cameras? I'm not in the market for any new camera. It would have to be something out of the park, phenomenal. I mean, the reason I got the Panasonic is because, first off, I have a G4, I have a G5, so I'm used to Panasonic. I like them a lot. I didn't get the G6 or the G5 Mark II. I didn't get either one of those. I wanted to get out of micro four thirds and get into full frame. So the S5 II X is a full frame, so I got ahead to get a new set of lenses. There's one lens, full frame L-mount lens that I'll have my eye on. It's the Sigma 70 to 200 millimeter f2.8 zoom. The only problem is that's a bigger lens. These lenses are small, so I can travel very easily with them. I'm not planning on taking my S5 Mark IIX to NAB. I don't need it. I'll just have I have my iPhone 15 Pro Max and I have a backup. I have two other iPhones that I'll take as backups for streaming, editing, filming in 4K. They both film in 4K. I'm not taking my camera. I took my camera to this Final Cut Pro Creative Summit because I know sometimes the classrooms are dark. Sometimes the classrooms are dark. Here's Jasper from Hedge at the Creative. So what did you think about the summit so far? How's it been treating you Final Cut Pro wise and stuff? What do you think?
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's just the place to be for the community.
It seems like it has so much energy this year.
Yeah.
I mean, it always does, but for some reason it seems...
Yeah, and also the whole, I think it was really good that the first day went to Apple already. So that it was amazing as well there. It was really nice that we actually went to Apple Park this time instead of the visitor center. So
yes. Good old Jasper from Hedge. They were one of our sponsors. Hedge, thank you very much for the thumbs up. Hedge sponsored my trip to NAB, along with Core Melt and Future Media Concepts. Just bought an S5 2X in the UK. Came with a free 85 f1.8, which is a great deal. Got two S1Hs, so it should fit in well. So absolutely, I have that same lens. I have the 85 millimeter f1.8. It is a really, really, thank you very much for the thumbs up. It is a really, those primes are phenomenal for a couple of reasons. Number one, they're all f1.8. Great, very fast lenses. And they're compact. So if I'm traveling, I don't want to take a big lens with me. I just don't want to do that. So the primes are really, really good. I have a 24, a 50, and then the 85. I don't think I'll get any other ones. Then I have the 20 to 60 zoom lens, but that's not an f1.8. That's an f4. I think it's a 4. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. I think it's an f4 to 5.6, but I use that outside. When I'm outside, I don't think it's nearly fast enough for indoor shooting. So what else are you going to be looking for in 2024? So we're looking for new features in Final Cut Pro 10.7. Absolutely. We want new features. Final Cut Pro team, we want some new features. Put them in there, put them in there, put them in there. Text-based editing. So ordered the 18 millimeter f1.8. They only have the 16 to 35 f4. There you go. Yeah, the 18 is pretty wide. I mean, I got the 24, and that's pretty wide as well. But anybody going to get new Macs? Anybody going to get an iPad? Like I said, I was going to get a new MacBook Pro, but I'm not going to because this one's working so well. I'm going to look at when the new iPads come out in 2024. iPad Pro. It's got to have the same USB controller that my iPhone 15 Pro Max has, though. This thing it's just so much better than that stupid lightning port that they stuck with for all those years. I can't believe that thing was so slow. It was USB 2 speeds. It was USB 2 speeds. So this is much better. I can record directly to an SSD. With the Blackmagic Cam app, I can record directly to a USB. I'm talking about a USB-C SSD. And I can do that. I can do that natively with the native camera app, but only as ProRes HQ. There's no other choice. Only as ProRes HQ with the native Apple camera app. But the Blackmagic camera app, I can record H.264, H.265, 5 different flavors of ProRes. I can record Apple Log in any one of those flavors to an external SSD. Now, I got the 1 terabyte phone, so I can record a lot of stuff on that without the SSD, but recording Apple Log to the SSD makes it so much easier because I just unplug it from the phone, plug it into my Mac. I can make a very fast copy. I never edit footage without making a copy. It's just a disaster waiting to happen. I always make at least 1 copy. So I have 2 of those. I have 2 of these. I have 2 of these 4 terabyte Crucials. This is the X9 Pro. Don't get the X10 if you want it to work with your phone, because the X10 for some reason was very slow when I tested it. The X9 is what you want to get if you want it to work with your phone and with your Mac. So I traveled with 8 terabytes plus 4 terabytes in my MacBook Pro. I make 3 copies, 1 on each of the 4 terabytes, and then I have a copy on my MacBook Pro. And then when I get home, of course, I put it on my RAID. Just got the M2 Ultra Max Studio and a studio display to replace a 2019 i9 iMac. I think I will order the MacBook Pro M3 Max to edit on locations, as the silicon chips makes it so much easier to edit. Yeah, I'm very, very sold on the silicon chips, absolutely. Well, I had the 2019 Mac Pro, the Intel, and I sold it. And I have that money set aside for my next Mac, whatever it is. I mean, listen, if they came out with an iMac Pro, say a 32-inch iMac Pro, or if they came out with when they come out with the next Mac Studio, or the M4 MacBook Pro, whenever the heck that's going to be, that would be very, very tempting. But I don't think I'm going to get the M3 MacBook Pro. Not right now. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. It's appreciated. Roz from Inspire Media. She's one of our regulars here. So let's check on this real quick. Yeah, it is snowing. Just barely. I think it's a little bit heavier than what it looks like. This is our first snow of 2024 for sure. First snow of 2024. I got my snowblower out. If it indeed needs it. If it's only going to be 2 or 3 inches, I'll just shovel a path for where we have to walk to. And won't have to worry about the rest of it, because it's supposed to be up in the 50s next week, so it'll all melt. But for a day or two, it's going to be a little bit slippery. Thank you for the thumbs up. A little bit slippery, a little bit messy. So I'm looking forward to 2024 in Final Cut Pro 10.7. I'm looking forward to the next feature update. They had 10.7.1 already came out, which we talked about on this show before it came out. They put it out right before Christmas, so I'm running 10.7.1, and there'll probably be an update when the Vision Pro gets released. I'm going to say, so if the Vision Pro is updated on the 27th, I'm just going to say they're going to have Vision Pro editing and Final Cut Pro. Why not at the same time? Why not at the same time? It seems like that would be a perfect time to do that. And maybe throw in an extra couple features in there as well for that release. Because right now you can't edit the Vision Pro video that I can shoot on my phone. You can't edit it in Final Cut Pro. As Vision Pro, you can't. So Vision Pros come out, probably an update to Final Cut Pro at that point, with at least capabilities to edit Vision Pro video. Maybe another feature or two. They'll slip in there at the same time. Have they ever just put out one feature when they put out a feature update? Have they ever just put out a feature update with only one feature? I don't think so. I think they always have multiple features, not just one. 1 degree in Liverpool, England. No snow yet. Phil, you live in Liverpool? I've always wanted to visit Liverpool because, of course, that's where the Beatles started, in the Cavern Club. That would be phenomenal to go there at the Cavern Club. To actually be in a space that was one of the places where the Beatles started. That would be phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Any other things you want to see in Final Cut Pro 10.7? We've already said text-based editing / auto captions, yes. Role-based mixer, audio mixer, yes. Some people want collaboration. I don't need that right now, but I support the people that do want that. Some other things, expanding a compound clip in place in the timeline, a better keyframe editor. There's a lot of things. I'd like to be able to color code clips and sort by colors in the browser like you can in LumaFusion. So LumaFusion has a overview under the viewer window. They call it a preview. It has all of the media in your timeline. It has all the media in your timeline. I'd love to see one of those in Final Cut Pro under the viewer, where just like, remember the MacBook Pro, the 2019 MacBook Pro, no, the 2016 MacBook Pro, where they had they got rid of the F keys and they had that little scrubber area. And you could see the entire Final Cut Pro timeline when you had Final Cut Pro open on that little area. I'd like to see that native in Final Cut Pro. So you always have the full timeline, and you can zoom in and out on the regular timeline, but that you always had that the entire timeline, and you can scrub it with the mouse, go back and forth. You can set in and out points and stuff. Like to see something like that. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things I like to see in Final Cut Pro. So, there we go. Finally got some snow. I'll have to go out there and keep an eye out to see what's going on. I'm going to probably do a live stream on local. We have a lot of local Facebook groups that are local. Carroll County, Maryland is where I live. So we do different things there. Let me go back. Matter of fact, I'll pull that up real quick. Let me see if I can pull that up. I put up a lot of different videos on my personal Facebook page, a lot of old stuff and animal rescue stuff, but I did put up a video. We went down to Baltimore during Christmas time, and we did put up a Christmas street video. Let me see if I have that here. Just checking. By the way, we have... Oh, let me pull that up. Where is that? Oh, I'll have to get back to that. Let me see. Size, kind. Let me pull up. Final Cut Pro Library. No, I don't want that. I want audio. No, I don't want audio. I want video. Video. Where's my QuickTime file? Oh, Lord. One of the things I did when I created my new version, my new hard drives, is I have a separate... Here we go. I have a separate... No, that's audio too. I keep a separate... Here we go. I have a separate portion of the drive that I keep media on. Because one of the things, when I go to duplicate, back up my hard drive, is I don't want to copy all that media. I just want to do this, do the spaces and stuff. Let me see here a second if I can pull that up. Well, here's one.
I don't have the latest version, I don't think.
So here's another video from our Creative Summit. Chuck Braverman and Brad Olson. This is where we had lunch.
I don't have the latest version, I don't think.
10.6.9 is the LUT, and also 10.6.10, but I didn't update to 10.6.10. I don't need
What are
to.
we getting today? We're getting
10.7.
12?
10.7.
I don't have the latest.
That was before we went to the Apple campus, and he said, "What are we going to see today?" And I said, 10.7. We're going to see 10.7. So there you go. Let me just see. I think there's... Just checking. Let me see if I can get... Well, is that... What is that? The heck is that? Huh. I'll be darned. I got some stuff when I was in London a long time ago, back in the 2000s. We got one more video I'm going to play real quick. We'll do it another time. So everybody, 2024, we're going to, is the year of Final Cut Pro 10.7. We're expecting text-based editing, auto captions, roles-based mixture at some point, and expand a compound clip directly in timeline. Would those be things that you'd like to see? They're definitely things that I'd like to see. Absolutely, positively. So let me see. We got, these are all YouTube comments. Are any Facebook comments come in today? I don't think so. That's interesting. No Facebook comments are coming in. That's bizarre. They should be coming in. Do we have comments on the stream? We should. Let me just check here a second. Yeah, well, we don't have any comments. I don't. Oh, that's for that one. I see. I see what's going on. Let me just check over here and see if there's any comments on the Facebook page. Oh, yeah. So Patrick Flannery, more precision when editing layers of a PSD in Final Cut Pro. That's one of the comments. These are all YouTube. I'm kind of surprised that there's not any from Facebook coming in, but I guess there's most of these are from YouTube. So any other comments about Final Cut Pro 10.7? How's your experience been so far? I've seen some complaints, as usual, people complaining about this and that in Final Cut. And my recommendation is this. Instead of coming on and being chronically negative, go to the place where you feel more comfortable. If you don't like Final Cut Pro, go to Premiere groups, go to Avid groups, go to Blackmagic groups, and be positive there rather than chronically negative about Final Cut Pro. Now, here's the thing. I'm not talking about constructive criticism. I'm talking about, oh, I hate this and I hate that, and why can't the Final Cut Pro team do X, Y, and Z, and just this constant nagging negativity about Final Cut Pro. Go somewhere else, please. Shoo. Go to the Final Cut Pro, go to the Blackmagic groups, go to the Premiere groups, go to Avid, go where you want to go. I'm not talking about a request. I'm not talking about constructive criticism. I'm talking about some people are over dramatic with their criticism of things. So please feel free to go somewhere else. Come back when you want to. You already paid for Final Cut Pro, so you don't have to worry about buying it again. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. It is appreciated. So whenever you're dealing with Final Cut Pro personalities online, and I deal with them, I see them all the time, you have some that are just curmudgeons. They're just, oh, I hate this, and I hate that, and I hate this, and I hate that, and I don't want your feature. I want all my features, and I'm more of a professional than you, etc., etc. Please, go away. Go to Blackmagic groups. Go to Premiere groups. The Final Cut Pro community doesn't need you. Go somewhere else and do all your complaining. Once again, I'm not talking about constructive criticism. I'm talking about you think you're better than everybody else. You don't want somebody else's feature. Those kind of people. Go somewhere else. Go to the Blackmagic group and complain over there. Or the Premiere group. We want this to be a happy Final Cut Pro group. And we want more features from the Final Cut Pro team. And thank you for the thumbs up. Fantastic. Fantastic. Let's check on the backyard. Yeah, we're getting some snow, finally. We've been waiting for it. They predicted it. And they weren't sure of the amounts. They're still not sure of the amounts. They're not sure if we're going to get 3 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches. But it's going to be a lot of moisture, a lot of moisture in the air. Ernest said, well said, Richard. So here's the thing. We get tired of it. If all you're going to do is come on these Facebook groups and places and forums and just criticize Final Cut, all you have to do is criticize. Please, get somewhere else. Go somewhere else. If you think you're better than everybody else as an editor, and that's all you hear, oh, I'm better than you, I know more than you, go somewhere else. Go to the Blackmagic groups. We want to foster positivity with Final Cut. And like I said, we have recommendations for the Final Cut Pro team, so they do watch these live streams. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. It is appreciated. So I'd like to see, I'm going to presume if Final Cut Pro is going to do, if the team is going to do a presentation at NAB, that we're going to know something about it shortly. I would presume we're going to know about it. They're going to schedule publicly maybe between now and February, beginning of February, because we're just 90 days out from NAB. Just 90 days out. So I'll be getting back on a plane and headed out to the West Coast once again. I always have a good time there. I always have a good time at NAB. Always have a good time. This was a funny, when I do my filming, local filming and stuff, I end up using my iPhone more than my Lumix S5 Mark IIX. Yeah, some people, that could be some of the reasons, but I just seen people that think they're superior. I see people who think they're superior, and they can't be bothered to help somebody who's asking a question, or when I see something kind of question that I can see on the forum, I try to help. Yes, you should look in the manual first. Yes, you should Google your answers first. But a lot of times the same question will keep popping up, and I'll go ahead and do tutorials. I have one tutorial that's got like 30,000 views, Final Cut Pro. I've been doing tutorials since it came out. So I might do some more. It's a lot, it's a lot of work, right? It is a lot of work. So we'll have to see, because I do so many of these live streams all the time. Now, this is number 47, like I said. So the tutorials are more work because they're not spontaneous. I got to script them, I got to film them, but I do like them. I have a series on YouTube called One More Thing, and I try to discuss one subject within 1 or 2 minutes, and the people really like that. So I'll probably do that some more. One More Thing on my YouTube channel. I have dozens and dozens of tutorials. Some of them have 10,000, 15,000. One's has reached 30,000. One of my tutorials has reached 30,000 views over the years. So I'll do some more of those, especially with 10.7, which is brand new. As they bring out new features in 2024, this is the era of Final Cut Pro 10.7. Right now, this is the era. It's just started. 10.7 has just started. Speaking of 10.7, let's do this. Let's pull this up. This is another one of the groups that I have. So I have specifically Final Cut Pro groups. I have about 4 or 5 specific Final Cut Pro groups. I started this one, Final Cut Pro 10.7, because we're going to be dealing with Final Cut Pro 10.7 and the future, not the older versions of Final Cut Pro. So this is very specifically about Final Cut Pro 10.7. And you can find it on facebook.com/groups/ why is that coming up as a number? There we go. It comes up as, just look for Final Cut Pro 10.7, 10.7, groups Final Cut Pro 10.7. You can join that. We're up to almost 300 members. It's only been out for a couple of weeks. And we're just going to discuss Final Cut Pro 10.7 subject matter. Obviously, there'll be a little bit of overlap. Nope, no more snow right now. Here you go. I was talking to one of my contacts this past week. They told me that a major feature update is scheduled to be released in the first quarter of 2024. It will include speech recognition. 2 thumbs up if that is true. That would be fantastic. Speaking of shooting on the phone, just downloaded Cinema P3, definitely as cool as the Blackmagic app. I love it. I buy all of the pro camera apps, every single one. I'm not going to do a subscription, but I buy them if they're available. And yes, it is very, very cool. Along with text-based editing, a roles-based mixer may make it into this release. Now, let me tell you something. If the Final Cut Pro team put out both a roles-based mixer, text-based editing, and what would you say, speech recognition, that would be a phenomenal update to Final Cut Pro. This is what I've been saying. The era of 10.7 has just started. if you're one of the people that said, well, it wasn't that much in 10.7, first off, to me, it was major because the scrolling timeline, I've been waiting for it forever, and it finally came. So that was a major thing for me personally. I love editing with the scrolling timeline. And some of the other things, machine learning, tracking and stuff. But yes, if they came out with, well, text-based editing is big. I hear that's the number one request I see all the time now. That's the number one request I see. So that would be phenomenal. Text-based editing, auto captions, whatever else they have. If they came out with that and a role-based mixer and the same update, that would be a giant feature update. But I do expect those things to be happening in 2024. There you go. I'm not sure what a Hair 5 Pro Max as a B cam. Air 5 Pro Max. I'm not sure what that is. I can't interpret that. Sometimes I can guess what you were meant to say, but in that case, I cannot. So here's to the Final Cut Pro team. Everybody give it a thumbs up to the Final Cut Pro team. We really like you guys and gals that are on the team. We appreciate everything that you're doing. We want to see more features. We will expect more features in 2024 from Final Cut Pro 10.7. Join the Final Cut Pro 10.7 Facebook group. We're going to be talking only about Final Cut Pro 10.7. Little bit of overlap to 10.6, but it's not going to be a general category. Everything goes in Final Cut Pro. There's dozens and dozens of Facebook groups dedicated to Final Cut Pro. We have Final Cut Pro TV and radio. We have Final Cut Pro 10.7. We have Final Cut Pro Tips and Tricks. Those are our three main ones. We have Tips and Tricks for the iPad. That's another one we have. So, and we have Final Cut Pro at NAB. Those are all good Final Cut Pro groups. There's dozens and dozens of other ones that are just general Final Cut Pro. 10.7 is about 10.7. We expect new features in 10.7. Absolutely. So let's go back over here real quick. That's NAB. Turn that off. And this is Tuesday. This will be happening Tuesday. We have Terry and Chris from luma-touch.com coming on Tuesday at 2 p.m. And we're going to talk about LumaFusion in 2024. Q&A with LumaTouch about LumaFusion. They've been on this show multiple times. This is the fourth, fifth, sixth time they've been on. So we're going to talk about LumaFusion in 2024 and anything else they want to talk about. They're always great guests to have on. Alrighty, let's check on the backyard one more time. Nothing, not that much. I'm kind of surprised. What time is it? 11:35. See, I'm kind of surprised it's not snowing more. Maybe it's snowing and just can't see it. It's snowing a little bit. All right, everyone, I'm going to get out of here. Once again, Final Cut TV and Coffee every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If Tuesday, we're going to have LumaFusion on, Luma-Touch, the people from LumaFusion. He meant the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Gotcha. So yeah, so I'm planning on keeping my iPhone 15 Pro Max when I update to the iPhone 16. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. I'm planning on keeping my iPhone 15 Pro Max next year because of the USB connection. I sold my iPhone 14 Pro Max. Apple offered me $650 for that when I bought the 15. I said it's not enough. And I ended up selling it for over $800. and I got $90 back on Apple Care that wasn't used. So I made $890, whatever. So this year I'll probably keep the iPhone 15 Pro Max because it has a USB-C connection. So I can use that as my B cam. I have two older phones. I have an iPhone 10 and an iPhone 6 Plus, whatever that was, because it was the first one that had shot 4K. So I have those two, and I'll probably keep my iPhone 15. Probably. We'll have to see what the 16 is. Don says, thanks as always. Another great Saturday morning. Now back to editing. Absolutely. Editing with your scrolling timeline if you like that. Fantastic. Any other requests besides the most common ones? A futuristic change will be editing the bitmap image in Final Cut Pro. That's the cinematic video stuff. So much editing stuff coming with Apple Provision. You know, Roz, I've had problems editing. Thank you for the thumbs up. I had problems editing cinematic mode in Final Cut Pro. I kept getting an error that said, you have to update your Mac OS. Don Stafford said, love the scrolling timeline. I do too. Thanks, Final Cut Pro team. So we had a Q&A at the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. The Final Cut Pro team was there. And there was a Q&A. Well, I asked the very first question, and the very first thing I said was, whoever on that panel is responsible for the scrolling timeline, thank you, thank you, thank you. I told them that so they all could hear that. Roz says she wishes Cinematic would edit in 10-bit. That's a good point. But then once I told them thank you for the scrolling timeline, the question I asked was, there's millions of Final Cut Pro users, and I keep saying this over and over again. Is Final Cut Pro going to go the way of Aperture? Absolutely not. No way. We have plans for Final Cut Pro for the next 6 months, and we have plans for Final Cut Pro for the next 5 and 6 years. That was their answer. Absolutely not going the way of Aperture. Final Cut Pro team, thanks everybody for watching. We really enjoy these. If there's any breaking news about Final Cut Pro, I'll come back with a live, Final Cut TV live. If not, Tuesday, LumaFusion. We'll be talking with Terry and Chris from Luma-Touch all about LumaFusion. Thanks, everybody. Let's check the backyard one more time. It's just doing a little bit of snow flurries right now. Just a little bit. Thank you for the thumbs up, as usual. Everybody's doing a great job tuning in here on Saturday mornings and enjoying everything. So let's just do this. Let me see. There we go. Make a screen grab so I have it. There we go. All right, everybody. My name's Richard Taylor. You're listening to Final Cut TV and Coffee, Saturday mornings at 10, Tuesday at 2 o'clock Eastern. I'll be back with LumaFusion. If there's any breaking news, if it's an update to Final Cut Pro, we're expecting text-based editing. We're expecting auto captions. We're expecting a roles-based mixer and a bunch of other stuff. 2024 is the era of 10.7. Talk to everybody later. See ya.